It's now, let's have a time check, 1941 on Sunday, 3rd of March 2013. It's a pretty clear sky out, fairly cold. I would say temperature's probably about 3 or 4 degrees centigrade. These lights were up about an hour ago. I've come back to them now, and they're so fantastic that although I hadn't intended to put the camera on, I just don't think I can let the opportunity pass. It's a Sunday evening and there's quite a few Heathrow planes in the sky on a quite different trajectory. At the moment there are two of the lights you see above the left hand lamppost, one beaming brightly in this direction at the moment. There's a second one to the right of it. And in fact there's a conventional plane just crossing the field of view now, quite high up. I'm not sure whether the camera's picking him up or not. One of the lights now is going to the right as we look at him, so you can see a red light flashing, a navigation light. Just get my binoculars. Yeah, he's flashing his navigation light. Lights which is sometimes white and sometimes red, as you would expect. The second one just disappeared to the left behind the roof line of a block of flats. There were in fact 4 of them in the sky a few moments ago. Here's one just flaring up again in what I'm terming the usual gathering place. As I look at him in the binoculars, he's got a double headlight on the front. I can't make out any navigation lights at present. His headlights are not straightforward, forward pointing beams. They're more a halo of light that surrounds the craft, and in fact there's a navigation lights coming in from his left quite close to him. I'm not sure that that's not a conventional plane, in which case it's going to be higher than, but not that far away. You'll notice that he appears to be hovering in the sky. If he's not hovering, he would have to be heading this way, and he's not heading this way because he's not arriving here. When he turns to move off to the right, take note that from hovering stationary in the sky, his speed is immediate. There's no acceleration, no gradual acceleration from being still to his slow but moving speed will be instantaneous. Still appears to be hovering, not getting any closer. Still appears to be hovering. Oh. Second one is lit up to his left. Now behind a fir tree. Just emerging, flying left. First one still hovering. Now turning facing left. Not much movement in the sky as yet. Now he's off slowly. Very slowly. Beaming brightly, turning back with the position he was just in, above that fir tree. A very tight turn. I don't know if the camera's picking this up now, as I've not got the headlight pointed this way. There's actually two, one flashing navigation lights of white and red. The other one appears a fairly stationary but not so bright now, hovering light. I'm looking out of range of the camera and I'm looking over Aldermaston, which is the far point of their normal circuit, and there are no lights over there at the moment that I can see. So what we're for, no, actually over Aldermaston direction there is now a set of navigation lights. Very often there's the very strong headlights there. The navigation lights are now heading leftwards back towards the gathering point. So there are no brightly illuminated lights in the sky at the moment. Oh, the one that just left Aldermaston is starting to power up a little bit, but he's just going to disappear behind house roofs. There, he's gone now. So he'll reappear through the trees as he makes his way back to the point of origin at the gathering point. They are so predictable. It's the same route every time. They're obviously very comfortable with it. So there's one now above the, let's call it the double street lamp. There's one behind the other, and it appears as if one's hanging from, two are hanging off the same lamppost on the far left. So he's facing us with his headlights, and through binoculars I think I can dimly see navigation lights on wings, but the headlights are too strong to make out navigation lights with any certainty. So he appears to be hovering again. Pretty well immobile in the sky. Yes, I can see navigation lights to left and right of the headlights, so he's facing me, but of course he's not getting any closer, or at least is not covering the few miles between us as he would if he was a normal commercial plane. Right, so he's now heading towards Aldermaston to the right. He's turned all his lights off apart from white and red flickering navigation lights now. And taking his place in the sky, I can see two lots of lights coming in from the right to the left. This is the third night running now that we've had this display. Each night has been a clear sky, cold, good visibility for them. So we've got a fairly muted light in the sky now above the left hand of the 3 street lamps, and a flickering light nearer the double lamps to the left. So the one above the group of 3 street lamps is pretty well just hanging there. I'm going to move the camera just to show towards Aldermaston that there is, immediately above that group of house lights, you might see a light. I hope the camera can pick it up. It's not too strong at the moment, and shortly it'll disappear all behind a roof line. It's moving now. Yeah, it's gone. Oh no, not quite. Just moving the camera back to the gathering point. There we have, facing us, headlights turning to the right, turning on a sixpence, still hovering, still facing this way, well, slightly to my right. Being approached from his right by another set of lights, dimmer ones, because they're headlights that are pointed towards him rather than towards me. Yeah, the left hand one, the brighter one, is still hanging there. Yeah, he's facing me now, so he's got double headlights. You can see with the binoculars. Vaguely make out just white navigation lights to the left and right wings. He's just hanging there. Camera is possibly not picking these up, but there are actually 3 lights at the moment. The brightest one is on the left of the double street lamps to his right, and approaching him is the second one. Oh, the one on the far left is moving off now. Notice there's no acceleration. Now he's turned his headlights off, he's just got his navigation. Oh no, he's put his headlights back on. It's possibly because the third one is approaching him. And beneath him. So we have 3 in shot at the moment. And there is in fact another one over Aldermaston. I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, it's too faint, so I won't turn it at the moment. Right, so above the double street lamps he's turned on a sixpence and he's hanging there for a moment so as not to crowd the circuit. He's facing this way, obligingly just hanging in the sky, defying gravity it would seem. There are a number of conventional planes navigation lights flickering much higher up in the sky. In fact, I can see at least 4 at the moment, much higher on entirely different trajectories. Now the one we can see in the gathering point is flaring his lights. Facing this way. They are remarkably uniform in their repeating of their procedure. Their flight path from the gathering point to Aldermaston and back. Their bright headlights before they set off, dimming to navigation lights only. Usually flaring the headlights again when they get over Aldermaston. It's just appearing to be just hanging there. Dim the light now, or perhaps not dim, but he's turned because he's off. And there he goes. A well beaten track. I can see his flickering navigation lights with the binoculars, but I don't think the camera will pick it up. He's going to the right, and quite close to him another one has just passed him, going to the left, just about to emerge from behind a thick pine tree. And if that one that's just emerged from behind the pine tree is true to form, he'll go somewhere near the second pine tree. Then he'll turn and face us, and he'll hover there for a little while, his headlights blazing. There are no headlights on him at the moment. Just 2 white navigation lights and an occasional red light. It's not possible to tell which light is where because there's no outline to hang it on. Now he's just past the second fir, the one on the left, above the double street lamp. He's facing this way, I think, although his lights are not too strong at the moment. It's brightening up. There he goes. Headlights full on, facing this way. Can't see any navigation lights. I don't think it's the glare of the headlights, I just don't think he's got any on. That halo of light surrounding the whole craft. No shafts of light piercing the night sky for hundreds of yards ahead. Just hanging there. And in fact, if I move the camera slightly towards Aldermaston, there's another one just above the group of house lights. He's probably just about to disappear behind a chimney, or he may be ready for the return journey. Let's just go back to the gathering point. And the one with bright light just dimmed them, or he turned. Yeah, he's turned. And he's off back to Aldermaston now. He's being approached by a second one. One going to the right, one coming in from the left. They look as if they're at identical altitudes. So obviously they must be separated a little way at least in the sky. So the one that's heading for Aldermaston carries on to the right, flickering navigation lights of white and occasional red. The one that's just come from Aldermaston is above the thicker, the right hand of the two fir trees. I can see a red light on his tail, white light, headlight presumably projecting forward to my left. So he should get to the left hand fir tree and turn and face me, headlights ablaze. There are in fact 4 visible at the moment. One over, let me show you the one over Aldermaston. He's pretty bright at the moment. He's to the right of the house lights. Now he's turned, he's facing back towards the gathering point, so his headlights appear to be dimmed because he's facing to the left. We come back to the gathering point. He's just about disappeared behind the roof line of the flats. Oh, there you go, he's just above the roof line of the flats. Gone a little bit further to the left than is normal. Sometimes they make their way over to the left there, either to some other site or to go home. He's just above the roof line of the flats. Headlight pointing to my left. Red light on his tail. Slowly making his way. And he's just about to go out of sight behind an even higher roof. I think he's turning this way. I think we may see him back in a sec. But not yet. Although the camera, I'm sure, isn't picking them up, they're too faint with the binoculars. I can see that there are at least 2 sets of navigation lights in the area of the gathering point, which usually materialises in strong headlights when they're ready to turn them on. Yeah, that one over the high roof line of the flats is still there. Yeah, he's now going back towards Aldermaston. He's got navigation lights on. I can see white, what appear to be wingtip ones, one on each side. There's a red one. Looks as if it's on a wing furthest away from me, and a white flashing light where you'd expect the tail to be. So in the sky now, he is giving the appearance of a very large plane. White on each wingtip, white on the tail, flashing lights. Well, actually not flashing, not really intermittent, on continuously, but a flashing red light towards, difficult to tell, I think the right wing now. Over Aldermaston there is a strong light, but it's behind a fir tree at the moment, so it's only seen intermittently. Well, that's 24 minutes of recording now. How long do you go on with this? We can do this for hours, and we could have done that for the last 3 nights. Exactly the same routine, exactly the same place. Which is presumably one of the ways they become unremarkable, because people say, well, yeah, they're always there. So what? They must be planes. So the one that was coming from Aldermaston is quite strong, but behind a fir tree, so shining intermittently. I think that's enough for this recording, to be honest with you. God, I could have done this 100 times over the last 2 or 3 years. It's now 7 minutes past 8, 20:07. There are 2 quite strong lights coming in. One's over the centre of the 3 street lamps. A pair of headlights facing left. Stay with it for just a couple of minutes. To his left and over the far left fir tree, there are 2 sets of lights. One is a flickering white one, the other is much slow moving red and light. Yeah, I think one is a conventional plane. So approaching the right hand and larger fir tree, a stronger light, headlights facing to the left, a red light on his tail, is directly facing a second one, which is a fairly faint white light, sometimes with a red blemish in it, towards the second fir tree. All this happening within the small confines of that area of the sky which I'm labelling the gathering point, and have been calling it that for at least 3 years. So the 2 are now directly facing each other, not too easily seen by the camera because the headlights are one facing left and one facing right. Getting very close now. Now past each other. So if true to form, the one heading left, now just beyond the left-hand fir tree, should turn and face this direction. You can see his headlights facing left and a red tail light. He should turn and face me. Yep, here he goes. Headlights facing this way. I can see navigation lights on wings, white ones. I can actually now only see it on the wing on the left as I look at it. He's turned on a sixpence and now he's heading back towards Aldermaston. He's just passed another one which is just hanging in the sky, just an intermittent red light inside a continuous white light. So yeah, he's headed back to Aldermaston. And what do you know, there's another one beneath him just coming back in from Aldermaston. It's just over a chimney. He's just approaching the left hand of the group of 3 street lamps. So at the moment in the gathering point we've got the one that's just come in from Aldermaston. He's now above the left hand of the group of 3 street lamps. There's another one hanging in the sky between the two fir trees, just a fairly faint white light with sometimes a red in it. No others obvious. One or two commercial flights making their way much higher and nearer me than the older Marston lights. So no crisscrossing of flight paths there between the commercial and the unknown. All the crisscrossing is by the unknown, which is a continual interweaving. Plus they're not interweaving, actually they're following like a scalextric circuit, it seems. So when they appear to cross, they're not perhaps actually close together. There's good separation between them. Or good in their terms, probably far too close for commercial planes. So at the moment over the gathering point there are actually 4 sets of lights. None of them are facing this way, so none of them appear to be particularly bright, and the camera may not be picking up any of them. One must be turning just over the left hand fir tree, which is to the right slightly of the double street lamps, and he must be facing this way. There's a glimpse there of his headlights, sometimes obscured by the top branch of the fir tree. There he goes. So he's now facing me, and he'll probably hover there for a little while before he turns on his sixpence, and without any obvious acceleration he'll make his way off at an even speed. Still facing me. I think I can make out navigation lights through the binoculars, but they're not obvious if they are there. So he's still facing me. You can tell by the close proximity to the block of flats, which they almost always take up that position, with just what regularity and accuracy they maintain their positions in the sky. Obviously a very strict, predetermined flight path. So right, he's turned off his headlights, he's flying towards Aldermaston, he's just passed under another one coming in from the left, double headlights, red light on the back, and above that is another one. All I can see are the white lights, occasional red flicker, and behind that is a third one, dimly seen headlights, and below that the fourth one is the one we were talking about, who's now heading towards Aldermaston. So that's 4 now grouped in the same small area of sky. One has now moved towards Aldermaston, he's left that area. 3 of them are still sat there. The one on the left is almost above the left-hand street lamp. He's facing left. I can vaguely see he's got 2 headlights and a red light on his tail. He should be turning to face me, at which point the headlight will grow very strong. Now he's going a little bit further. He's going behind, out of sight, behind the block of flats. I have every confidence he'll be back shortly, because that's what they do. There he is, just above the roof line. I can tell by the speed at which he's crossing the roof line that how slowly he's going, and that he's keeping Oh, yeah, it turned towards me. It did have a red navigation light to the right hand side of the headlights and a white one to the left, but they've changed to two white ones, one to the right and one to the left, plus the double headlights. And he now appears to be flashing a blue light on his tail. He can just be seen above the roof line, just above the roof line. But he's now coming back towards Aldermaston, so he should put in an appearance shortly. We see him properly. There are at least 3 other sets of lights near the gathering point. Dimly seen. Right, he has now emerged from behind the block of flats. I don't think the camera will pick him up, but I can see that he is a very large shape. A wash of light rather than a distinct light. At the back tail light there's a red light flashing in what appears to be above what would be the cockpit, and can vaguely see that there are headlights pointing forwards, which I shouldn't actually be able to see the direction in which he's heading. Yeah, there's over Aldermaston, but behind a tree there's a strong light. So the routine seems to be power up the headlights at the gathering point before taking off to the right towards Aldermaston, put off the headlights, put on the navigation lights, get to Aldermaston, turn on the headlights, then when ready to come back, because quite often just sit there over Aldermaston with the headlights on, when they're ready to come back to the gathering point, turn off the headlights, come back with the navigation lights. But that could be an optical illusion because I'm only seeing the headlights when they face me. They may be on all the time, but I don't see them head on and think they're off. Just to remark again, the headlights do not throw out bright beams of light for hundreds of yards ahead of the planes. They are just confined to circles when seen head on, circles of light that surround the planes. Halos, you could say. I'm going to turn this off now. It's now 38 minutes, 32 seconds. The time is 2019 on the 3rd of March 2013. Irrespective of the fact that there's a light just coming from over the roof line of the flats on the far left, and he's now started to flash navigation lights, white, perhaps an occasional red in there. He's heading for one which is just lingering in the sky above him. I can see white and red lights, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything, just sitting there. Okay, good night.